Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about brand new products coming out for the Pokemon trading card game. We have got ourselves a pair of Mega Battle Decks. That's right, Mega Battle Decks featuring Mega Diancie EX and Mega Gengar EX, which should set your spidey sense tingling just a little bit, because this is a point in the video where you go, hang on a second, didn't you show us Diancie and Gengar decks coming from Japan yesterday? Why, yes, I absolutely did. Well, now we got news on the English versions of the decks, so I can tell you a bit about these, and it sounds like a lot of these videos I do, even though the English product images don't tell us everything, what I can tell you is actually a bit more than we see on the front of the box, because we've had these decks revealed properly in Japan. We've seen everything there is to see with these decks. Well, I think we've seen everything we need to see. Pretty sure they've shown us everything, so that's kind of lovely. One thing I want to point out here, though, is that this is actually... well, these are the rival decks. The rival decks that we got, the Marnie and Steven decks, it's those. They've got a slightly different name, but these are the exact same product. Now, look, I'm putting them side by side, the Gengar and the Marnie, and I know that the Gengar is missing the key cards. I'm telling you right now that the key cards are the Illustration Rare Haunter, I'll show you that in a minute, and 2 copies of Mega Gengar EX, I'll show you that in a minute. The packaging is the same. They've got 3 cards displayed on the front, exactly the same. It's a level 2 product, exactly the same. So I know that these are called Mega Battle Decks rather than Rival Decks, but look at the logo. They've just taken the word rival, replaced it with the word mega, and changed the color scheme. But the shape of the logo is the same. So, yes, technically this is a brand new, never before seen kind of product. But then, by the same token, it's also just, it's the rival battle decks. The thing is, the rival battle decks came out in the age of trainers Pokemon. So rival battle deck made sense. Whereas these are coming out in the age of Mega Pokemon, and we don't have Trainers Pokemon coming around anymore. So Rival Battle doesn't make sense. You know what does make sense? Mega Battle. Boom! There we go. So, what do we actually got here? Do we have good decks? Because remember, the Steven deck fell a bit flat with the Rival decks. But the Marnie deck... oh, the Marnie deck's good. Marnie's Grimmsnarl is like a top 4 deck in the game right now heading into the World Championships. And we're talking about a deck that, you know, all the key cards are in this. It's ridiculous. Do we have that again? I believe we might. When I saw Marnie and Steven, I was a little bit underwhelmed. And I was right about Steven, wrong about Marnie. Marnie was actually really good. I like both the Gengar and the Diancie deck. I think they're absolutely brilliant. By the way, we have a release date here of the 24th of October, and they're $15, which is absurd. Just $15. So what do we have here then? Let's start with the Gengar deck. It's going to be built around Mega Gengar EX, and you should be getting 2 copies of Mega Gengar, as well as 1 copy of the Illustration Rare Haunter. Now, I don't know what's going to be going on in terms of exclusivity. If we assume it's like the Marnie deck and the Steven deck, here's what they did. The Illustration Rare is exclusive to the deck, the others are in a set. That's what they did. The only exclusive card in the Marnie deck was Marnie's Morpeko. The only exclusive card in the Steven deck was Steven's Beldum. Everything else was just in Destined Rivals. Even though in Japan they were only available as their own deck. So I would imagine, and I don't know, but I would imagine that would be the case here. They basically go, right, we're still going to take all the Gengar stuff and put it in a set. We're still going to take all the Diancie stuff and put it in a set. But the Illustration Rares will be exclusive and only available in these decks. That is not a promise, but I do think that is likely. Now, Mega Gengar looks like a phenomenal Pokemon. 350 HP, Stage 2. The attack is 2 energy, 230, and moving energy from this to one of your bench Pokemon. It's fine. But it's really the ability here that says, while it's in play, whenever any of your Darkness Pokemon get KO'd by damage from your opponent's Pokemon EX attack, they take one less prize. If they don't take the prize with damage, if it's damage counter, special condition, whatever, it's fine. If they take it with a non-EX, it's fine. But if they take the prize of an EX, including Mega EX, they take one less prize. It's kind of redonkulous. The other card I really like in the Gengar deck, well, there's a couple. There's Punk Helmet, which it's literally double Rocky Helmet. If your opponent attacks and damages, even if they take a KO, they take 4 damage counters, as opposed to Rocky Helmet, which generally gives them 2. The other one I really like here is Sableye. I think Sableye's kind of legit, because what Sableye does, it's single energy, and it's only 20 damage. However, if you've got a Stage 2 Darkness Pokemon on the bench, it does 70 more, 90 total. But remember, if that Stage 2 Darkness Pokemon is Gengar, then your opponent cannot KO you with an EX, or they don't take a prize. So I think Sableye's really very good. Now, go back and check the video I did yesterday where I go through this in more detail. But there's also a Murkrow line, which I don't think is that good. There is an Eternatus, which I don't think is that good. And an Absol, which I don't think is that good. Okay, very quickly, the Murkrow is free energy, discard 2, deal 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. The Absol, single energy, draw 2. And the Eternatus is either 2 energy, 50, discard a Stadium, or free energy, 130, flip a coin. If tails, you can't attack with this next turn. Okay, they're not that good. I'm not that impressed. It does come with a Prime Catcher in Japan. This is something I'm not willing to suggest is necessarily going to be the case, but it is worth noting it comes with a Prime Catcher over in Japan. But honestly, Mega Gengar EX looks really good. Punk Helmet looks kind of fun, and then you got your illustration rare Haunter. That's kind of enough. Now, Diancie. When I first saw Diancie, I went, not that impressed. I changed my mind, ladies and gentlemen. I changed my mind. Now, the illustration rare here is Meloetta, which incidentally, not a good card. Don't like Meloetta at all. But it does have an illustration rare, and the illustration rare is kind of awesome. But the one that I like here is Mega Diancie. Because you see, Mega Diancie has got an ability whereby it takes 30 less damage from attacks, but it's also got 270 HP, which means realistically it's like a 300 HP basic, which is dumb high. Also, as a side note, there's an A-Spec in that deck in Japan, which is Hero's Cape. I'm not sure if that's going to be in this deck. I don't have a reason to believe it necessarily will be. However, it is in Japan, I'm just letting you know. I feel very confident that the 3 cards that are going to be displayed at the front of the Diancie box are 2 Diancie EX and the illustration rare Meloetta. Very much like the Steven deck had 2 of the Metagross and 1 of the Beldum. But the attack on Diancie is 2 energy, discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon, 120 for each energy discarded. Now, I want to look at this and be like, well, 2 energies of pain, but it's not, because we've got Wonder Patch. Now, Wonder Patch, if anybody's wondering, it's literally Dark Patch, but for Psychic. Attach a Psychic energy from your discard to one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. So, yes, you absolutely can go second, attach the Diancie, use a Wonder Patch, and then hit for 240 turn 1 going second, with a Pokemon that's got an effective HP of 300. Yeah, this looks really good. I like this a lot. First reaction to this was a bit, and then I kind of started doing the maths and looking at it through, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's kind of ridiculous. The other card I kind of like in here, we got the Alchemy line, which is single energy, 20 damage for each Pokemon you've got in play. Not stunning, but a nice little attack there, one which I think could be good. We've got a Gramble line. The Gramble is free energy, 90 damage, but if there's any damage on the defending Pokemon, it does 90 more. It's free energy on a stage 1. It's got 130 HP. I don't really like it. I do like it more than the Mimikyu, which is just single energy, search for a basic and bench it. Nah, mate. And the aforementioned Meloetta, yeah, fine. It's got a great illustration rare, but it's single energy, heal 120 from one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. and then probably give up a prize. Brilliant. There is also a Cresselia, and the Cresselia is single energy, and search for 2 psychic Pokemon in your deck and attach it to this Pokemon specifically. Again, I cannot tell you all these extras will be in the deck. I don't know. However, the Marnie and Steven cards were all in the deck. All the ones that were in the Japanese deck got ported over to the English deck. I expect that to happen again. The only ones I'm absolutely sure of are 2 of the EX, 1 of the illustration rare. All the other cards I've shown you here, I expect to be in the decks, except for maybe the A-Specs. But again, that's a prediction. I cannot actually tell you for certain. I wish I could tell you for certain. That would be fun, but I can't, so I'm not. And there we go. The rival decks were great, and the fact that Marnie was a top-tier deck just made them better. I don't know if these are going to be as good. They're not out in Japan yet. We can't see them yet. What I do know is both of these have immense potential, and I think they absolutely could be legit. But I've told you all about it now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's literally been supporting this channel since it was a podcast 13 years ago. So shout out to Martin for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.